Hey, quick, let's go in the backyard. On this episode of Travels with Bill, we're heading to the garden. Well, the garden walk, that is. Each year, Swan River puts on a garden walk where you can tour strangers' backyards and see exactly what they've done with all their plants. Well, that certainly sounds like something I want to do. Go wander around strangers' backyards and see if they know how to garden. So come with me. Let's go check it out. We'll head back here and you'll find out that this is an amazing garden. In fact, this isn't a stranger's house either. Swan River is a small town, so everybody knows everybody, and if you pay a little attention, you'll either recognize the house, or you may recognize the guy that's in the video a little bit later on. As we come into the garden, some welcome signs, and then, well, some vegetables. We've got some tomatoes on the go here. They look super green, starting to produce a little bit, but certainly as the summer goes on, they'll produce a little more. This garden is somewhat terraced. It has 2 levels to it because it's on a bank that goes down into a park. We'll show you that park in a minute too. Check out all of the amazing stuff though, and just think for a moment about sitting in that sunroom looking out on a garden like this. It would be amazing. A little wet as we're filming, you can tell the day of the garden walk we had some showers. Now we do have a lot of garden walk episodes on the channel, so make sure you check them all out. We went to all of the gardens on the entire tour, and the way it works is you buy a map, you pay some money, they're doing a fundraiser with this, and then you go see them all. Check out the stonework here on the terrace. Isn't that nice? I was holding it back, a little retaining wall, but you don't really think of that as functional, even though it is. Without it, the backyard would be slipping on down. A water feature as well. Let's listen for a minute. The sound of running water is an amazing addition to any garden, so peaceful and serene, and somehow just adds that little extra special touch, doesn't it? Well, across the fence is that park, but before we get there, some stonework here in the bottom. Everything in this particular garden is very well thought out. Now, I'd love to tell you it was the gentleman of the house that did the gardening, but I think we all know that's not likely true. His wife does an awful lot of work out here. See that? A double-decker playhouse. That's kind of neat too, right? Let's take a peek across what you see from the rest of the backyard, because this whole backyard goes out onto a park. So you could be here listening to the water and hear the crack of a baseball in the baseball diamond just across the way. It's a very beautiful location. And that's a lot of what Swan River is like. Lots of the houses are in beautiful spots that you just don't find in the big city where you have house after house after house. Kids no doubt would love to play in a double-decker playhouse like that one. It even has a little deck on the outside with some places to sit and enjoy the world going on by. Another look at that retaining wall on the other side. Lots of rocks there, lots of creepers too. Oh, there's the gentleman of the house. Now if you're from Swan River, you recognize him. He's the mayor of Swan River, Lance Jacobson. This is his house, but not his garden. I think it would be more fair to say it's his wife's garden. He's just babysitting it for her today. Some potted plants here on the deck. Now, some of these, of course, are annuals that you could grow in just 1 year if you got them started early, but we're going to see some here that most definitely aren't. You'll recognize it. See the guy with the pink flowers? That doesn't grow natively in Swan River, but it does grow here. Each year it goes inside the house and stays in there over the winter to keep it from getting too cold. Then it comes back out again in spring and has another beautiful summer. A little pan across here to see the whole backyard in one shot. That is quite amazing, isn't it? Accessories always add to a garden too, and the more interesting, the better. Well, it certainly is an interesting piece. Between the plants and the accessories and even the landscaping here, it makes for one really amazing package. Now, we're not quite done because the backyard isn't the only place there's plants. We'll take another peek at those tomatoes before we go, though. They're certainly doing pretty well. I see some little tomatoes all over the bushes. Those are going to be yummy in a few more weeks when they grow up into big tomatoes. Not just tomatoes, a few other vegetables. I see some onions in there as well. Well, even a couple strawberry plants. Looks like they're starting to produce. We're going to head back on outside the garden here, say goodbye to the backyard, and go up front. Now, the interesting part is what's on the right is actually the next yard over, and we've kind of missed the prime on that rose bush and the peony, but they certainly would be adding a lot to it a week or two before our visit and making that walk to the backyard even more special. The front of the house has more potted plants on the go, but not just potted plants. Certainly the driveway there with some pots, and then we get more into this little front garden as well. I love the dragonflies up there. Again, those accessories adding so much to the garden. A little bird bath here too, to keep the birds happy, and of course make it just extra special. Well, like I mentioned, we've got lots of garden walk videos on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to see them all. Plus, we're traveling all across Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and indeed Canada, showing you some really interesting things. from just outside the mayor's house in Swan River, Manitoba. Farewell for now. We'll catch you on the next episode of Travels with Bill.